Sorry about that. Hopefully everyone can hear me now, if I can get confirmation from someone in the comments maybe. Excellent. Got some audio back then. Now definitely feel like I've probably wasted the last 4 laps of commentary. But obviously getting ready to go for a restart here. Stint number 3 of the St. Croix 1500. Of course we were 4 laps in when we had a red flag for the disconnection of Austin, who looks like he's trying to rejoin at the moment. Yep, he's rejoined. Of course, yeah, we are 1 car short, unfortunately, today. So I'll quickly run through the grid order for the restart. Of course, it's Palmer leading the way with Candinolian in second. Then it'll be O'Shea in third and Scott in fourth. Then rounding out the top 5 will be Pitasso. Then we'll have Green, Costa Rock, Von Duve, Lashbrook, Harcourt, Walker and Gordock in 12th. And then of course a lap down now, unfortunately due to that disconnection, will be Austin in the number 1 car. Of course we've got a long way to go in this race, so there will be a couple of opportunities to gain that lap back for Austin. So you can definitely not discount the CP Motorsports number 1 here in this race, as it looks like we do have the command there from Palmer all ready to go, and the race has been set to start. So it'll be 16 laps to go. Palmer, of course, leading the field around through the first couple of corners, and then he'll approach the restart zone, where he'll have the choice of firing at any point between the gaps in the catch fences on the exit of turn 2 and the entry of turn 3. As we see him now approaching the start of the restart zone. At that point there, and he starts accelerating. We're back underway here with stint number 3 of the St. Croix 1500. And Palmer getting a good jump here on Candinolian. Candinolian going on the defensive there into turn number 3 from O'Shea, who's following close behind, who also has to worry about Scott, and Scott also having to worry about Pitasso as well here in the battle for the top 5. So Palmer leading the way with his It's Racing Esports teammate, running rear gunner there for a moment, but now getting a bit of separation there from O'Shea, who now has to contend with Scott and Pitasso, all looking for his 3rd place in the order. So definitely a very frenetic start here to the final 16 laps of this third stint. Pitasso getting all out of shape there as he heads out onto the bridge. Very close to having to fish that Lexus out of the river or the lake. I'm not sure which one it actually is. I'll have to get confirmation on that one. We'll go with a lake at the moment. But Pitasso still managing to hold on there and not lose any positions to the cars behind him. And still maintaining a close gap to Scott in front of him. Of course, Scott also in the slipstream of O'Shea. Doesn't look like they can make too much inroads. Possibly O'Shea catching a bit of slip as well, helping him along down the straight. Sort of creating a little bit of a DRS train without the DRS. And then now as we come through the final section of the lap, of course drivers suffering from that dirty air throughout these what I'll call medium speed corners, very much reliant on the downforce of the car and then the turbulent air of the car in front sort of taking some of that performance away from the car. Certainly makes it hard to follow closely to the car in front. Of course, the likes of Pitasso and Scott, and of course O'Shea and Candinolian all doing a fine job of trying to keep in touch with Palmer in the lead of the race. As we now cross into 15 laps to go in the stint. Be interesting to see if all cars can make it to the end of this race here on the tank of fuel that they've got. Of course, starting off on 60 litres of fuel. You would assume that all cars can make it to the end, but may take a bit of creative fuel saving from a few to certainly make sure of that. We'll jump a bit further back. Kosterop, Von Duve sitting in 7th, just a bit behind the AGU Motorsport 34. Well, it's actually 55 at the moment, so we'll certainly have to clarify which number they are running under. Certainly looks to be 55 at the moment. May have to make some adjustments to the timing sheet that I'm being provided. As Von Duve closing into the back of Kosterop. Of course, this AGU Motorsport Lexus very fast in a straight line, so it's definitely not going to be easy for Von Duve to get ahead. We'll need a very good slipstream down this back straight. And certainly at this stage it looks like Kosterop is pulling away even with the slipstream, so a very slippery Lexus here down the back straight, making things very difficult for his competitors. And certainly doing a great job of keeping himself in contention for a top 5 position here. Jump a bit further forward in the field. And as we can see, O'Shea still holding down 3rd place at the moment. Just looks to have built a bit of a margin there over Scott. And Scott now probably has to look more in his mirrors than he does looking forward to O'Shea in front, as he's now coming under a bit of attack here from Pitasso here in the Mash Spuds Racing 32. As that gap nearly approaching just half a second. although it has creeped up a bit here on the exit of turn 2. So Ando just getting himself a bit of margin, protecting himself from the draft here a little bit. Certainly Pitasso won't be able to make much of a move here down into turn 3. As you just see Scott running a little bit wide there, and then Pitasso as well. Just getting all out of shape there. And Pitasso still very much loose on the run down here towards the bridge. And now Pitasso, 0.3 of a second to gap, closing in on Scott. As we come across the bridge, he'll be certainly setting himself up for a run down this back straight. Gets a great run through turn 15 and definitely has himself set up here. Very much taking full advantage of the slipstream. On the run down to turn 16, tucked in behind the rear wing. Scott going on the defensive, choosing the inside line, forcing Pitasso to go the long way around, and now he reclaims the racing line, holding on to position 4, but very much got Pitasso to contend with here, locked all over the rear bumper. And this will be the moment for Scott where he wants to try and build a gap again. Make use of a bit more clean air than what he is providing to Pitasso. Just runs a bit wide there. That's going to allow Pitasso to close right in again. As both drivers just take a little bit of grass there on the exit of turn 24. And Pitasso now well under half a second gap between himself and Scott here in the battle for 4th place. And a great run out of turn 2 there for Pitasso. Scott straight on the defensive. He knows he's got a battle on his hands here on the run down into turn 3. They're going to run side by side into the braking zone. Scott will have the inside line. And it looks like he holds firm there into 4th place. And Pitasso certainly looking like the faster car at the moment, but just can't find a way past as he runs wide a bit there. Did he pick up any damage? No, but he certainly gives a quick little weave to try and clean off the tyres a bit there after his run through the grass. And certainly he's now struggling a little bit for grip as he just tries to clean those tyres off and get them back with some fresh rubber on those tyres. So he's certainly dropped off the back of Scott there for the moment. Just jumped forward a bit. Back into the lead pack. And Palmer just ahead of Candinolian. See, maybe there might be a replay there to look at from Kosterok. Just jump back a bit further. We'll just see how this all plays out as we go for the run down towards turn 16. don't think Candonolian is going to have enough of a run here to overtake Palmer. So Palmer will hold on to the lead. So possibly a bit of contact. I don't think we quite saw the end of that. So we'll definitely leave that one to the stewards to look at post-race. So gap between the It's Racing Esports cars certainly closed in the last few laps. Looks like things have just gone a bit laggy here. Not sure what's going on with that one. Must be a replay thing possibly. See if we can rectify it with another replay. Thinking that might have fixed things there a little bit. Certainly reports of lag there coming from the drivers as well through the text chat. Certainly things looking extremely odd here. Might just have to do a quick reset on this one. I might have to jump out, see if jumping out the lobby myself fixes things quickly. See if things have improved here. I think it's looking just a little bit better. I might just stay away from the replay function for the rest of this race then. As Costa Rock has just called engine damage, so looks like might have the safety car coming out here. And we'll gain a bit more information here on the race as Palmer comes across the line. So now 5 laps complete, lap 6 of 16. Of course counting the other 4 laps, so we're probably lap 10 of 20. Looks like we've got a disconnection from Bonduve, and that is quickly called a red flag. So just waiting to reset the grid order for a second restart here in the St. Croix 1500. Stint number 3, of course. Should be the shortest stint, and we're probably having the most problems with it. Meanwhile, Luke Hayden just cutting some laps here in the safety car. Certainly something for us to follow along with and keep entertained. As he just runs a bit wide there, unfortunately. A little bit late on the brakes, I think. Of course, good to have Brian join us. Of course, providing the comment of needing plenty of engines for the safety car. Certainly at the moment we might need some bodywork parts and some suspension here for this safety car. As it looks like we're ready to get back underway again, so hopefully not too many laps needed for any engine damage. Of course, 11 laps to go here. And it will be Palmer to lead the field away again in the number 96 Nissan, with Candinolian, O'Shea, Scott, Patasso, Ward jumping in for Green, who has quite quickly fallen unwell, and they've had to pull him out of the car. Good call there from the RoboSport Racing crew, looking after Green's well-being, so hopefully Green is feeling a little bit better very quickly. I'm not sure if we'll see him back in the car today, but of course we'll wait and hear from some status updates from the RoboSport Racing crew. Once we've got Palmer in the restart zone, we'll be accelerating away any moment, as he does right there, and we get back underway. 11 laps remaining here in stint number 3 of the St. Croix 1500. And again, Palmer leading the way, Candinolian going on the defensive there, as O'Shea tries to separate the two It's Racing Esports Nissans. And very quickly, Candinolian getting a bit of a break there from O'Shea, gaining some breathing room here in second place. There's now the two It's Racing Esports cars running side by side there. And certainly the 95 starting to look a bit more racy, possibly having his sights set on taking the lead here in the third stint. Palmer running wide into the wall, bit of contact there with his teammate. Unfortunately not any damage from it, but now Palmer dropping from the lead down into fourth place in a matter of moments. And so now it's the 95 back into the lead of the race. Side by side there between Ward and Patasso onto the bridge. Very close quarters racing, and not much room left between Ward and the bridge for Patasso to squeeze in between. Patasso dives down the inside. Looks like a bit of contact there from Scott as well. I'm definitely not touching the replay, even though I've missed that. So Scott picked up a bit of damage there as well. He's dropped down to 7th. Patasso up into 3rd, sneaking past Palmer, who remains in 4th now. And very much a lot of argy-bargy going on there, as this race has very quickly descended into a sprint here. Ward running wide there on the run into turn 16, and he's going to give up a number of places as Walker and Scott both move ahead of him. And it also looks like Harcourt has also moved ahead. No damage there on Ward's vehicle, so it looks to keep going. Maybe a little bit lack of grip there from getting some grass on the tyres. He'll be looking to clean that off very quickly, as Austin now charging through the field inside the top 10. He goes side by side on the run to turn 1 with Lashbrook. Lashbrook giving him the room he needs, and makes a dive down the inside, definitely not making it easy there on Austin. And now they run side by side on the run of the straight between turns 2 and 3. Lashbrook now just tucking in behind the rear wing of Austin. look to launch a bit of an attack, but Austin awake to it, outbreaks Lashbrook and holds on to position 9. Now the next target for Austin will be Waterhead in 8th. As Austin just catches the gravel there on the entry to the corner, just runs a bit wide. That just gives Ward a little bit of breathing room there. Lashbrook just struggling there a little bit. And now he comes under attack from Kosterok. Looks like he's just gotten out of rhythm there a bit in the battle between himself and Austin. Now he sort of just has to get himself settled down a little bit, find his groove again, and sort of work on building that gap. And he's certainly struggling for pace through the corners, and now coming under attack from Kosterok and Von Duve in the battle for 10th place. He just got a little bit of a gap there over Kosterok, so now Von Duve looking to make a charge here into 11th place. So we see that gap build between Kosterok and Lashbrook. The yellow flag is out. Who has made a mistake? It is Scott. So Scott has had an error here, taken on some damage, and he's dropping down the order very rapidly. Now losing places to both Kosterok and Von Duve. So Candonolian leading the way. The gap is 2.5 seconds between himself and O'Shea. Palmer now up into 3rd, and then Walker in 4th. Walker just running wide there. That definitely was not expected to have at that point of the lap. But definitely a very easy mistake to make. And now Pitasso was in 3rd, down to 5th, back up into 4th. Certainly don't think the snakes and ladders of these positions will be completed just yet. Certainly got a lot of racing in the 9 laps, I believe it is, left here in the 3rd stint. Definitely anything can happen here to shake up the order. Austin getting a run down the straight between turn 2 and 3. He gets himself down the inside of hardcourt. Now Austin up in the 6th place, getting that lap back with the red flag. And the subsequent restart. So he is now fighting for position here. Now Ward and Harcourt just swapping positions there between the Robo Sport cars. Certainly not much of a fight there put up from the team leader of Robo Sport Racing. Of course, this is unfortunately the last time we'll see the Robo Sport Racing name races with their presence in the Track Stars Touring Car Series, or the main series at least. With a new team name going to be taking over that place for Roy Sport Racing with RN Racing. So of course Austin now up in the 6th place. Austin that we've seen this weekend. I'm sure he will make very quick work here of Walker and jump back into the top 5. As we see Palmer and O'Shea side by side on the run to 16. Palmer, look, yes, he has got the job done. It's definitely very much on the limit of braking there. And just got it pulled up and made the apex. Covered off the line and moves up into second place again. So now it's 95 leading the way of 96 in the It's Racing Esports 1-2. But of course very close behind we have the 50 CP Motorsports Nissan. And then of course Patasso in the number 32 Matchbuds Racing Lexus in third and fourth. I'm sure Palmer will not be looking to make any more mistakes here, as he has probably 4 or 5 drivers breathing down his neck, ready to capitalise on anything that may go wrong for him possibly. Hopefully it doesn't though, for his sake. As we see, Austin has closed up to the back of Walker. Just a bit of a lag moment there, but certainly looks like the overtake has been completed there. Hopefully that was a pretty straightforward move. It looks like it was the case. Certainly looks like Walker just gave a bit of room there, with Austin moving down the inside. So Austin now in the top 5. And I think he'll certainly be possible to jump up into the podium places. It'll just be a matter of which podium place he actually claims. So gap between Austin and Patasso just around a second now. I feel like that's probably going to close up in a matter of time. Of course, Cannolian still leading the way. And then it's Palmer, O'Shea, Patasso. Patasso looked to close up there a little bit on O'Shea. Certainly taking a wide exit. Not sure if he just got caught a little bit unaware and just had to take a bit of evasive action, some defensive driving to avoid any contact between himself and O'Shea. So it looks like a bit of a battle pack here for 9th, 10th and 11th. And it is Lashbrook, Costa Rock and Von Duve continuing their battle. And it looks like Scott has moved up in the 12th, so he's moved ahead of Gordock here. Definitely did miss that one happening. We'll jump back into the battle at the back end of the top 10. Lashbrook just a little bit defensive there. Still giving himself plenty of opportunity to take the racing line though. So we are down 7 laps to go here in the stint. And that looks like Harcourt has run wide, hoping that that was a disconnect. So looks like we're probably due for another red flag. Yeah, unfortunately, for the matter of keeping on time, I guess, definitely hasn't been an ideal situation in this third stint. And it certainly has caused a number of delays. Probably lucky for the sake of the number 22 car that it did come when it did. Another couple of laps and it would have seen the race continue on till the end of the stint. Alright, so hopefully this will be the last time we need to do a restart. I think all we need is just to complete one lap and then it will be green all the way to the end, regardless of any disconnects or engine damage. So this time around it'll be the 95 leading the way to the restart, with the 96 now following in second place. And then of course it'll be the number 50 of O'Shea, then it'll be Pitasso, Walker, Ward, Lashbrook, Costa Rock. That'll be your top 8. Then we'll have Austin, Scott, Gordock, Von Duve, and then Harcourt running out the field as Kendernolian gets back underway. And we are racing once again. Hopefully 6 more laps to complete this race. Or stint number 3 here of the St. Croix 1500. So Kendernolian leading the way, Palmer in second, then it's O'Shea, Pitasso, Walker. Pitasso looking very racy there on the attack, all over the back of O'Shea. And Walker following close behind, possibly picking up any of the scraps that may come from it. O'Shea just a little bit wide there on the entry to the corner heading onto the bridge. And Pitasso well and truly within the slipstream range as we come off the bridge into turn 14. And then it'll be around a turn 15 sweeper. Pitasso very much will be looking to get a great run here out of 15 and onto the back straight. And it looks like Lashbrook's made a bit of a mistake there. And Pitasso hasn't quite gotten the run that he wanted. And now he's coming under attack from Walker, who pulls out of the slipstream and gets alongside. And we'll have the inside run here into turn 16. O'Shea getting the car pulled up. He'll hold on the third place, and it remains a battle for fourth here between Pitasso and Walker. And Pitasso will hold on to that fourth place. As Pitasso getting all sorts of sideways here. Walker having a bit of a look there. Definitely not the place I would have pinned as an overtaking opportunity. But Walker certainly had a bit of a look there for fourth place. Of course, didn't come off at all. And he's had to settle back into fifth. And all of this has certainly given O'Shea a great buffer here for him to hold on to third place and potentially even set his sights on overtaking Palmer for second. But it looks like Palmer has settled in a little bit, starting to build out that margin of his own. So we're all pretty well spread out between first, second, third, fourth, fifth place in Walker just following a bit closer behind. And a bit further back, Austin there again, going for one of his overtakes into turn number 3. And he gets the job done, back up in the 6th place. Not sure what happened to him there. Must have made a mistake there before the red flag. Certainly dropped him well down the order. He just catches that curb there a little bit and just gets a bit out of shape. And that might open the door for Ward to make another attack here on 6th place. So Austin back up the 6th. Of course, we've now crossed into 5 laps to go, so any disconnects from this point on, we keep going racing. Same deal with the engine damage as well. No more safety cars. Straight fight to the end, finishing under green flag conditions. Of course, a straight fight to the end of stint 3. Of course, 2 more stints to come from this. Of course, stint 4 will switch over to Luke Hayden hosting the stream. So look out for a new stream coming up as I jump back into the driver's seat of the 964 for the 4th stint. And then of course I'll be rejoining to take us through the final stint of the race. So Austin getting a good run here down the back straight. Not sure if he's close enough to get into 5th place, but feel like it will just be a matter of time before Austin does find himself inside the top 5, potentially even pushing forward for a podium result here in this 3rd stint. Tasso just kicking up a bit of grass there on the exit there. I think that's allowed Walker to just come back into touch with him. Just a bit of dirty tyres there from Tasso. And Walker now in slipstream range. Of course, Walker also has Austin to contend with. This will be an interesting run between turns 2 and 3, sorry. And Walker just getting a bit tail happy on the exit. Certainly a better run out of turn 2 for Austin. Will he be able to make an overtake here in the turn 3? Takes a look to the inside, gets himself alongside and parked at the apex. They will run side by side. But Walker just has a bit of a better run out of turn 3 as a result, and he will hold on to 5th place for the time being. Of course, Austin certainly very racy there. Tasso getting all out of shape on the exit, and Walker I don't think got the best run as well. Austin gets alongside again, and this time it looks like he'll get the job done. And so Austin now back up into 5th place, and certainly will have his sights set on the very rowdy Tasso at the moment. And you'll certainly see the tail end of that Mash Spuds Racing Lexus moving all over the place and sense an opportunity to get ahead into 4th place. As he comes off of turn 13 onto the bridge and across that sector split there. He is on course for a fastest lap at this moment. Of course, a 3:06. Certainly not setting the timesheets ablaze there. And a bit of contact there running out of turn 15. I think a similar case there for Tasso as well. And certainly the one that is sensing an opportunity here will be Walker. He's well and truly within the slipstream. Can he make another attack and try and get back into 5th? He thinks about it but doesn't quite think he's close enough to get a move done there on Austin. It's back in behind. Austin will hold on to 5th place. Now you probably sense that maybe Austin will probably start turning his attention more on the attack rather than the defensive. As that gap nears a second between between himself and Walker. So it's now under half a second between Austin and Pitasso for fourth. So definitely the battle will look to follow with at the moment. As we see, it is a little bit close there up the front, but I think it's going to be much closer here in this battle between Austin and Pitasso. Definitely this time around he won't be making a move into turn 3, doesn't look close enough. Of course, for now at least, it'll be the last time that Austin carries the number 1 here with the Trackstars Touring Car Series, as that number will be heading the way of Ridwan Hamza here at the end of the day. Austin very much holding that half a second gap. Just feel like he might need a little bit more pace here. Just to jump ahead of Pitasso. Certainly struggling a little bit in this dirty air. Another bit of a lag spike. I thought for a moment there he could have been disconnecting. Thankfully, for the sake of the race at least, Austin hasn't done so. Can still remain in this top 5 fight. Let's just look a bit further back. Ward pulling out from underneath the rear wing of Walker. And they run side by side to turn 16. And Ward just couldn't get it pulled up quite enough. Runs wide there through turn 16. And doesn't get the overtake completed. So Walker jumping back in the 6th place, and Ward going to have to go back to the drawing board there and reevaluate his plan to get ahead of the 964 as we jump back into the battle inside the top 5. It'll be Austin and Pitasso here. Austin much closer through turn 1 this time around and into turn 2. Will he get a good exit here onto probably our first long straight here of the lap? Doesn't quite look like he's got enough of a draft here to get ahead, but he's certainly closing in much more this time around. As they both have a little bit of a moment exiting turn 3. And Pitasso getting very tail happy here. Austin probably senses an opportunity here and be looking for a good run out of the corner. Although Austin just getting a bit tail happy himself as Pitasso does the same. And they're certainly both struggling for optimum grip here, as we just have another one of those lag spikes happening. So a better run onto the bridge here for Austin. He is well and truly in the slipstream. Does he have enough to get alongside into turn 14? Not quite, but he does get a better run out of 14 and into 15. Just needs to maintain this kind of margin here through 15. And it looks like he just got a bit of arrow wash there, and that probably gave Pitasso probably enough of a gap that he needs to hang on to the spot for the time being. Although Austin is getting a very good run here down the straight towards turn 16. Will he have enough to launch an attack into 16? Pitasso on the defensive. Austin forced to go the long way around. Pitasso does get it pulled up nicely hit there into turn 16 and will hang on to P4 again. So brilliant defensive driving here from Pitasso, holding on to P4 here as he just gets a bit out of shape there across the curb. And another one of our lag spike moments. So this is going to be the battle to watch here as we cross into the final lap here of what has been a very eventful 20-lap stint. Pitasso just running wide there. I think this could be the opportunity Austin has to get in the fourth, and he is tucked right behind the rear wing onto the main straight. Pitasso going defensive again, wants to carry that inside line through turn 1. Can Austin hold firm around the outside and gain the inside for turn 2? No, he doesn't. Pitasso manages to hang on, but now it's about to run between turns 2 and 3. And this time Austin gets a very good run here. Pulls to the outside line, and they go side by side. Pitasso continuing to hold firm here when he runs into the wall. So big mistake there on the defensive, and that lets Austin through. So Austin now into 4th place. Pitasso dropping onto the fringe of the top 5. So was some great defensive driving there for Pitasso, but eventually he just couldn't hold on any longer, and that has now promoted Austin into 4th place. And now the task for Austin will be to build this gap, get himself outside of the slipstream range, and just ensure that there is no counter attack here on the run to turn 16 on the final lap. And at this stage it looks like he's doing everything he needs to do, as that gap nearly reaching a second here. And so barring any incidents here in the final few corners, I think P4 will be where Austin ends up at the end of what has been a very eventful stint. Did go a lap down at one point, managed to regain the lap through a couple more red flags, and certainly dropped a bit further back before the final restart, but's managed to work his way back up in the 4th place. So a very good effort there from the number 1, and that'll serve him well for the rest of the race. Of course, back up the front, it has been a familiar sight all season. The number 95 It's Racing Esports Nissan leading the way, although for the first time it'll be Candinolian in the car for the end of the race. Usually we're used to seeing the likes of Hamza or Lee leading the way to the checkered flag. As we now approach the final corner, Palmer all over the back of Candinolian, runs wide himself, and Candinolian will take the win here for the number 95. Palmer will cross the line in 2nd, and then it'll be the CP Motorsports duo of O'Shea and Austin in 3rd and 4th. Pitasso a bit unlucky there to take 5th place. Was very much on for a podium even. And then we will have Walker, Ward, Scott in rounding out your top 8, and then Von Duve, the WTC Racing teammate, in 9th. Harcourt coming across the line in 10th. Although he will probably drop to the back again. I'm not sure on that one. I think he was a lap down, so he'll be back in 13th. Then we have Gordock, Lashbrook, and then Costa Rock will be the final car. Costa Rock looks to have unfortunately copped some engine damage. So it's going to be a long road back to the end for him. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll just grab some quick screenshots. Be a good opportunity for everyone on the stream to catch a quick look at the finishing results as well. And then I'm going to have to run off and get myself set up for Stint 4. Of course, Luke Hayden will be joining us for that stint there. He'll be running the stream for you, so stay tuned. He'll be set up with his stream in a few moments. But for now, I'll be taking a bit of a break from the streaming side of things, jumping into the race car, and of course I'll be back to cover Stint 5 for everyone. So look forward to catching everyone on the stream then.